Taking yourself out of your own DMs and hiring an appointment setter is one of the most highest leverage things that you can do in your entire coaching business. I don't know a single coach who's doing more than 30K per month who doesn't have an appointment setter in their DM. So it's absolutely imperative that you get the whole process right from A to Z. Hiring, management, and upskilling the setter himself. Having collected over $700,000 in the last 7 months for my clients' businesses, a lot of these guys had appointment setters inside of their business. Well, you may be wondering, why am I so qualified to speak on this? Well, here are all of the client results that we've got. Now, some of these guys did have appointment setters and others had accounts that were too small, so we had to show them how to appointment set. Either way, the art of appointment setting is one thing that you do need to master, whether you're ready to have a setter or not. Now, all of the guys that you can see here, and in total, we've collected over $700,000 in the last 7 months for our fitness coaching clients. Now, a bit about me and why you should actually listen to me in the first place. In January of 2023, I left my 9 to 5 and I was selling for the company Resellers Room in the UK. We sold a coaching program and we sold over 800 of these high ticket programs for $2,000. Then in June of 2024, I was done managing sales teams and only being a closer. I actually wanted to be my own business owner. So I left the UK, started traveling the world, and I signed my first fitness client in December of 2024. And then fast forward to today, 7 months later, conveniently, I'm now running a 35K a month business, solely scaling and working with fitness coaches. I've generated over, this is 500,000 here, but if you check my IG, it's 700,000 now, and we've done over 20 million views on Instagram for our clients, because it's not just about sales, you need the content to get the leads as well. Now, let's just jump straight into it. First thing is I want to go over the things that an appointment setter doesn't do, because a lot of people have misconceptions about appointment setters. So an appointment setter isn't going to bring you traffic. If you have no leads coming into your business, an appointment setter is not going to change that. Don't make them do outbound to a bunch of people that don't know you exist. It doesn't work. An appointment setter is also not going to help you improve your own business skills. Okay, a lot of people think, oh yeah, I just need someone in my DMs and then my business will be fine. Well, if that was the case, then every coach would be absolutely crushing it. Next, an appointment setter is not going to help you if you have a bad offer. And the worst part about this is most people who have a bad offer don't know they have a bad offer yet. And this is a big problem, because you may think it's because you don't have enough leads or you don't convert enough or you don't have a setter managing your DMs. A lot of the times it can just be down to your offer. And lastly, an appointment setter is not going to give you a system. You could have one of the best appointment setters around, but if you don't have lead tracking systems, if you don't have an onboarding system, if you've never had a setter before and you don't have your set style and tone and scripts to give him, or should I say framework, not scripts, he's not going to succeed. So the setter is not going to bring the systems that are required for setters to work. And hiring a setter is not a substitute for having a good business. You can't just hire a setter and then just think, oh, that's it, call bookings on autopilot forever. That is never going to happen. Now, here are the things that an appointment setter does bring to your business. They allow you to scale your marketing. It means you can actually step away from the DMs and focus on the higher leverage tasks. Obviously, because of that, you now book more calls in because there's someone in your DMs 24/7 while you're making more content or shooting more ads or taking more sales calls. And as you can see, I do have systems here again, because there are some systems that an appointment setter does bring. And those systems are essentially automated call bookings. If you've got the whole infrastructure around the appointment setter dialed in and working, that is what the outcome will be, a system that provides you with consistent automated call bookings that from qualified leads. Now you may be wondering, well, do I need to hire an appointment setter? Now, it's very simple. If you have a proven offer, then hire an appointment setter. If you have the proper lead flow, and a lot of people overestimate their lead flow. Genuinely, if you're not having to message, I'd say 15 to 30 people a day, then you don't need an appointment setter. If you're having to message 30, 40, 50 people a day, then yeah, I can understand. But most people are maybe getting a couple inbound DMs a day and sending 50 outbound messages to the people who interact with your story legit takes like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So you can do that very easily yourself as well. And lastly is obviously the close rate. Like at the end of the day, one of the main reasons why appointment setters don't last in the coaching and info space is because the closer simply cannot close. And that's one of the biggest things that we make sure our guys can do is at least close at a 30% close rate. And then that allows us to be confident that we're not going to hire a setter, they're going to book calls in and then leave because the coach doesn't know what they're doing and can't close. So if you actually hit these 3 things here, go ahead, hire an appointment setter straight away. If one of these 3 things is missing, and in particular, if the first 2 are missing, definitely don't hire an appointment setter. The third one, you could actually get better at closing by taking more reps. So hiring a setter may be applicable still, even if you're below 30% close rate. And if you are, to be honest, you just need to hit me up in the DMs. I will actually give you my sales school for completely free. It's a fitness coach sales school as well. And you will run it up if you had this. Now you've determined whether or not you need an appointment setter. Next is how can you actually find an appointment setter? Because this is actually the hardest part. Getting the appointment setter to perform mainly comes down to having good lead flow and a proven offer. The problem is actually finding a good appointment setter in the first place. There's so many appointment setting communities out there, or just appointment setters in general, who've never been on offers, who don't really care. And look, appointment setting is the easiest, lowest barrier entry way into becoming an entrepreneur and making your first bit of money online. And because it's so low barrier to entry, you get a lot of people in there who don't have a fucking clue, who barely even care about business and scaling your business, and they just come in and fuck shit up. So to get past that, you need a dialed in system that's proven to work. I've hired over like 30, 40 sales reps now. You need a dialed in system that's proven to work to hire appointment setters. So this is exactly what you need to do. First thing, number 1, is make a form or a document for your job post. Now let me show you what this can look like, because I practice what I preach. Here is when I was hiring for my good friend Ethan. Our current setter graduated to closer. This is a rare chance to step into a proven offer. And yeah, I just write out the requirements that I'm looking for. I write out the legit offer performance. Last month collected 28K. The closure rate is 32%. Offer is converting very well. We just need volume. I give the base pay. So we start our setters at 5%, but then when they hit 15K, 6%, 20K 7, 25K 8, 30K 9%, and then we give them a bonus if they hit 60 calls in a month with a 70% show rate, which all of them hit this because this is bare minimum. Then it gives them a $300 bonus. So when they hit 30K, they come out with 3K. We try and pay our setters as close to 10% as possible, which sounds like a lot, but look, I'm in the camp of giving a lot to get a lot in return. And trust me, the sales reps who get underpaid don't perform. And then yeah, I leave direct steps in here. So message me on WhatsApp. Hopefully I remember to blur that, because I'm not going to blur that actually, fuck it. If you want to message me, message me. But yeah, and then I tell people, message me on WhatsApp if you want to get hired, send me your intro loom, and then answer me these 5 questions. Who sent you / what community are you from? Give me a list of your previous roles. What is your highest cash collected and calls booked in a month? Send me a screenshot or Google Drive of your past and sets. What would your current opening be if I just followed the account? And I say failure to follow the above 5 points will result in an instant disqualification. Now, once I've done that, we can move on to number 2. I can post it on my story. And if you can't post it because you're the influencer, let's say, just find a bunch of appointment setting communities. Again, if you actually need the list of appointment setting communities, I have a big database of all of them. Hit me up on Instagram, tell me, yo, I came from the YouTube video, I need the appointment setter database, I've got you covered. And then yeah, get them to obviously post it in the community. That's gonna be step number 3. And look, a lot of these guys have talent, so you can reach out directly as well and request connection with some setters directly. But I'm always in the camp of, look, just use the community owner and just get them to do the hard work for you, because they want to put their sales reps in your business, because then they get a testimonial when their student makes 2K, 3K. And we even have a dashboard of 200 setters that have already been screened with Loom videos and answering those 5 questions. And this is what we actually use for our own hiring process. And this makes it super easy. So yeah, like we have that on deck as well. And this is why our clients perform so well, is because we just have the database of all the setters. It works dope. Once you've actually found your appointment, once you've actually got your job post out there and you now got applicants coming in, now we need to learn how we can actually hire an appointment setter so we don't fuck our business up. So very simple, obviously create the job post, and then you're gonna get the Loom video and you're gonna ask the screening questions, or sorry, they're gonna send you the screening questions, and then you're gonna start to review the applicants in the DMs. Like I said, I send everyone to my WhatsApp, and then I can review their Loom video and 5 questions. And honestly, the Loom video plus those 5 questions is 90% of what you need to know, whether that setter is going to be good or not. So it just means that all of the bullshit, because I get like 50 people apply for every role I put out there, all of the bullshit just gets cleared out, and I get rid of 90% of the applicants straight away. Makes it super efficient. Once I've done that, if I see someone who I like the style of their questions and their Loom video, I'll have 3 or 4 messages with them. Are you currently on another offer? Can you work full time? Does this time zone work good for you? And then boom, if all those questions are yes, and I liked their answer to the 5 questions in their Loom video, I'll just book them straight in for an interview call, because usually from the 50 applicants that I get, I only book 5 to 8 interview calls. Then what I'll do from there is I will take the interview call and also do a live role play. Now this is huge. Doing the role play while you're still on call with them, a DM role play literally takes like 5 minutes to do, if that, if you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So literally finish the interview, turn your cameras off and be like, yo, we're gonna role play straight after the interview, smash out the role play. And then after that, you've really been through everything, you know. You'll have everything you need to make your decision. And I always recommend getting 1 appointment setter in for your account until you pass 30K a month. And you may be like, wow, that sounds like a lot. I promise you, if you know how to manage, motivate and train your setter, 1 setter can manage an Instagram doing 30K a month. Super, super easy. But this is also why it's important to be on good terms with the setters that are your second and third choice, because you never know when you might accidentally hire a fuck up, because it can honestly happen. You can get famoosed and someone who seemed amazing was shit. And then yeah, they could get pulled away for family issues. Maybe they've got exams, or maybe they get a better offer than yours. So you need to always have the database dialed in. Once you've actually made your hire, now we need to get your Instagram account ready. Obviously set up 2-factor authentication. I'm not gonna go into what that is or why it's important. Fucking obvious. Make sure your account is professional so that the setter can use the label feature. This is what we get our setters to do. If they mark it as shipped, it's disqualified. Ordered is when they pitch the call but they didn't book. Book means they booked the call. Paid means it closed. Lead is when the lead first reaches out, and then flag is when you need to follow up in a couple of days or weeks. Let's say maybe they've had a call but we didn't close them and you need to follow up. So yeah, you can only do this with professional accounts. So make sure your account is professional so that you can do this. And lastly, organize your primary and general inbox. Put all of your personal messages in primary, put all of your business messages in general. And then that way your setter only works in the general inbox. Next, you've got call booking software. Use Calendly. Make sure you've got 3 calendars, 1 3 days in advance, 1 7 days in advance, and you actually want 1 manual one, because sometimes setters don't like to send the link, and we find that usually works better. Make sure you've got your automated workflows. It should look like this. You want email reminder, and you also, look, here we go. So 15 minutes before the call, 2 hours before the call, 24 hours before the call, you want to send emails, texts to the host, because sometimes the coach forgets to turn up, to the lead, to everyone. Everyone's getting spammed with texts and emails, just enough so that they have a high show up rate. And then we have a CRM and KPI tracker. So as you can see, you know, this is pretty simple, to be fair, but look, it's just date and time, call booking, date and time, the name of the lead, the Instagram handle, the notes for the setter. Did they show up? Yes, no, they rebooked. Did they close? Yes, no, rebooked, or I need to follow up, and then put the closer notes, so, you know, paying in 2 days when the lead has been paid himself. And then we actually review our clients' calls, so we let them put the call link in here. Super simple, but a little system like that goes so far. Now, payment structure, this is super big. So I kind of went over it on that doc, but yeah, you have to pay minimum 5%. If you've got a small offer and you're only going to do like 15K, you need to pay them 10%. Optional bonus as well that we use is $250 at 75 calls booked. And then yeah, give them bonus increments for every 10K cash collected. There's just an example of like a leaderboard that we use to track show rate, for example. And like, because we've got like 8 setters, we can have internal leaderboards and cool little games. Pretty fun stuff to do. But yeah, I think the last thing I want to touch on is the management skills. When you only have 1 appointment setter in your business, he's the closest thing that you've got to a business partner. So you need to be speaking to him daily. You need to be checking in on him. You need to be his best fucking friend, because when you hit 30K a month, it's going to be off the back of his hard work. And so many people undervalue appointment setters because it is the easiest way to get into making money online. But they're the lifeline of your business when you're starting out and you've only got them as the only way to take DMs in your business. So it's super important that you do have a super good relationship. And if you don't know how to manage morale and keep your setter happy and excited, he's never going to perform. And that is actually everything that I can go into right now for managing and appointment setting without actually teaching you guys how to do it. So if you made it this far, congratulations. Now you're probably wondering, how do you actually implement this appointment setting system into your business? Well, if you're in any of these situations and you're just starting out and you're feeling lost, or maybe you've built your audience and you don't know how to monetize it as well, or you know that if you had better appointment setters in your business, you could be making way more cash. Or maybe you're just struggling to get leads, or you're unable to charge and close for high ticket. Your clients that you're working with aren't dream clients. You've hit a plateau in your growth, and just every month it just feels like you're having to start fresh, chase new clients, chase new payments, and your business just doesn't feel rewarding like how it should. Then if you're in any of those positions, I just want you to go to my Instagram and DM me the word freedom. And that is actually it. I'll just reach out, we'll have a conversation, and I can talk about placing a setter into your business, or all of the other things that we do for our fitness coaches that has helped all of them scale up to having multiple 20 and 30K months, as you can see on here. So that's all you need to do. If you actually want to consistently scale your fitness coaching business, head over to my Instagram and DM me the word freedom, and I will sort you out. That is Zidane's appointment setting masterclass video. Thank you for watching, guys. Peace out.